I want the bets from Betting Weekly, because we win, that is our motto. Sometimes we win, sometimes we don't win. Don't give us the bird, don't give us your stink eye. We try our best, and we're successful. Come watch our show. Bet Rivers sponsors. It's time to start. Enjoy the show.
Welcome along to Betting Weekly Live. You're with Dan Roebuck and Nigel Seeley. AFCON leans analysis coming your way, plus a look ahead to the resumption of the darts. Nigel, how are you? 'Twas the Betting Weekly Live before Christmas. All shopping done, all booze in the fridge, Stella's stocked, all happy ahead of the big day?
Yeah, I'm okay, mate. Yeah, looking forward to today. Oh, I love joining with you. I actually try to cry out of it. Actually, I tried to ring Steve Wiss up and say, Steve, come on, you could be a much better candidate to do the AFCON than me. And he said, no, he had things to do. So, but anyway, I'm sure if I see some comments from Meat Man in this, I won't be very happy because I wanted to do. But no, I've actually delved into the AFCON. It's not a tournament that's never really been one for me. I spoke about a brilliant story about it on the dojo last week. I don't know if you watched the dojo. I'll tell you the story in a minute. But it's not a tournament I really get involved in. But I've actually delved into one today, and I really quite like a very bet. And I've actually rung up the guy who puts my bets on and asked him to put me a few quid on one tonight. So I've actually got involved in the AFCON. But the darts is my thing. Obviously, it's the breakaway today. And obviously, we've got the World Championship resuming in a couple of days' time. So it's a good time to get involved in the darts, which Bet Rivers do cover, and you can live stream that as well. So, yeah, after this morning when I woke up, I thought, oh, no, do I really want to speak to Dan Roebuck? Not that I don't want to speak to you, Dan, but, I didn't want to speak to you on Christmas Eve. But now I've delved into it. I feel like I've got some winners that we can celebrate before Christmas. But happy Christmas to everyone enjoyed in the show, and everyone coming in to watch the live stream. Happy Christmas and enjoy it. So yes, I'm in a good mood now.
Good. What's the dojo story?
Do you remember when we used to do Sports Tonight Live? Do you remember Sports Tonight Live?
Yeah.
So this was a television channel that me and Dan worked on about 10, 15, well, maybe longer than that. 12 years ago,
longer than that, yeah.
We worked on it. And there was a presenter of the show, was a guy called, no, it was Sports Tonight. There was a presenter of our show, and our evening show, like a live show like this, a guy called Ian Payne. And he was a big presenter on radio over here in the UK. And he was basically a big guy on Sky Sports, which is a big network in England as well. So Ian Payne was supposed to do the show. And they said to me, Nigel, Ian Payne's not very well. You need to stand in and do this live show. So I went on the live show, and it was the preview of the African Cup of Nations. And I was pretty raw to doing this kind of stuff. And all the odds come up. At the time, and the guest host, I was the host, and the guest was Perry Groves, former Arsenal striker, and obviously you've worked with him loads of times, and he's become a good friend of mine. So we go on to do the show. The odds come on, I'm running through it, and I'm going like 3-1 Ghana, 4-1 Cameroon, 5-1 Nigeria, and then it come up with DR Congo, and just me, I said 12-1 Dr. Congo. Because I just got nervous and said Dr. Congo instead of the Republic of Congo. And so every time I see Perry Groves now, he refers to me as Dr. Congo. So that's one of my AFCON stories. Hopefully, good luck. They're not playing today, Dr. Congo, but we've got some other bets as well.
Brilliant. Welcoming one and all. A guy called A. Hi, gents. Villa fans said Fred, do a Christmas song. Merry Christmas, guys. Giving us some great.
We're too sexy for this Christmas.
Exactly.
We're too sexy for this Christmas.
Come on. Listen, speaking of AFCON, we are streaming all of the AFCON games live. If you've got Bet Rivers account, Bet Rivers app, Bet Rivers website, you can watch the lot. There is one ongoing at the moment, isn't there? I don't know what the latest score of the Algeria game is.
1-0. Sudan,
What is it?
1-0 to Algeria. Sudan has just
Algeria,
had
yeah.
a player sent off as well. So
they were short price favourite. Yeah, 1-0 just into the second half. Look, we have got plenty of offers coming your way. And first of all, we have to mention that if you have got your eyes on a plus money bet at Bet Rivers, Betting Weekly is giving you a little pizza money to lock it in. Use our pizza money bonus code, which is Betting Weekly 1218 to get a $10 bonus bet to use on any plus money bet at Bet Rivers. Betting Weekly 1218 is the code. You can see it on screen right now. You've got until January the 11th to redeem the code at any US Bet Rivers sportsbook. It's good for one bet for eligible customers. So if you've got an account, make sure you use that. You've got to find a plus money play. AFCON we're going to talk about first. We're going to talk about the two games that are on the schedule today, and briefly about the games that are early on the 26th. And we've got darts from Nigel towards the end of the show as well. So plenty to take a look at today. Give us your thoughts. Hey, what was this? But you wish you was Dr. Zhivago. Mike is with us.
Doctor Who? Doctor Who?
Not Doctor Who. Let's have a look, just a brief look at the AFCON futures. Have we got the AFCON futures? Did we?
Oh, we can't because they're playing.
I know, but I thought are we still looking at some of them? We haven't got them. No, I don't think so. I just wonder here. I just want to throw this to you, Nigel, because you've made a very good point about Mo Salah and the fact that Liverpool seem to have sort of jumped up a gear because he's just out of the equation. They're not talking about him. As you said on the Premier League show a couple of times, he's out at AFCON, and it's been a bit of a blessing in disguise for them because they can just concentrate on the job in hand. Slot's not getting asked about him every 2 minutes by all of the press because they know he can't answer anything anyway because he's away. I just thought maybe Egypt, who are fourth favourites or were fourth favourites heading into this round of matches at plus 650, might be some sort of play here. Morocco are the host at plus 220. This was ahead of the action today. I don't think it's going to change just because Algeria are beating Sudan. They are third favourites at plus 600. Do you think Egypt have got a bit of a squeak? Salah, Marmoush up top?
Well, they've got one of the best strike partnerships in it. Cameroon, obviously, in turmoil. Ivory Coast, we're going to come on to a minute. Very hard to successfully defend this title. So they've got as good a chance as anybody. I think this is a tournament that I think you're much better off to bet people on a match-to-match basis rather than take a position on the outright market. As we've seen, this tournament, it's a tournament that sometimes produces some good shocks. Usually, traditionally, not many goals. Teams coming through with penalty shootouts and various things. A little bit of luck that goes their way. But Egypt, obviously, Mo Salah not playing as much as he had for Liverpool. Mamouche being rested for Liverpool, for Manchester City as well, behind Haaland. So they're fresh. It's not like they've come in and played lots and lots of matches, whereas other teams have got players who played quite a lot the early part of the season as well. So they've got as good a chance as anybody, but I wouldn't be rushing in to bet any team on the outright market as it is. I think it's one of these tournaments there that you would bet a match-to-match basis rather than take a position on somebody now because there are some shocks in this tournament, but not particularly this version of the tournament. But it's gone against a trend, doesn't it? It's gone against a trend.
Listen, I was about to say. I mean, I'm for the last few renewals. I've put up the sort of stats day by day for AFCON. And the two trends were draws and both teams to score yes. And both teams to score yes is a little bit counterintuitive because you think to yourself, it's an unders tournament. I've seen lots of stats about unders tournament. This tournament so far, and we're only 9 games in, which includes the Burkina Faso game against Equatorial Guinea earlier today when there was 3 goals in the last 5 minutes. That went overs. If you've been playing the overs, you're 5.56 points profit to level stakes through 9 games. And if you're playing both teams to score yes, you're 5.75 points profit through 9 games. So those two trends have been huge. Usually it's unders, but both teams to score yes is one that you've got to keep on side. I feel like I've missed the boat a little bit now.
And favourites as well, Dan. Favourites have been winning.
Favourites, I'll tell you the favourite stats. Favourites have won all bar 1 game, 8 of 9. No
was
dogs.
Was that before? Was that before this morning's match?
That includes the game this morning.
And you've got a favourite now in Algeria, very, very.
And that's another one.
Money, so they're going to win as well. So this was the trend. These were totally the opposite to what you've ever had in this competition. You always wanted to fade to favourites. You always wanted to be betting the draw. You always wanted to be going on the unders. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I don't think the players who have come this season have been star players for their clubs like in previous years. A lot of them, like Mo Salah, is obviously the pin-up boy in this tournament in terms of his profile. He hasn't been playing a lot, so they're a little bit rested. So the better teams have players who are more rested. There's also the fact that they've got VAR this season, and there's not in this tournament as well, but unlike other tournaments before. And when we're seeing VAR and lots of added minutes at the end of football matches, we saw in the last World Cup, more goals come in, as you saw today, 5 goals in the last 3 minutes. The market still believes this is an unders tournament. Correct. In terms of the way they're betting the 2.5 at plus money, but it might be a good time to rebase and look at the way that the bets are here with Bet Rivers and think to yourself, well, okay, forget the trends here. This is all about the now. And the gap between some of these top teams and some of these poorer sides is probably a little bit wider than it has been for many, many years in terms of the bigger players. Look at some of the squads, the big squads, and the majority of people playing in Europe. In these weaker nations, hardly anyone is playing in Europe, not many at all. So I think the gaps become a little bit bigger. They're not covering the handicap so much, but they are winning. And I think going with favourites and going with goals is definitely the way to go for those reasons.
And just to re-emphasise that, this is not overachievement. We've had 24 goals in the tournament so far. The XG is 22.5. So it's about par. It's about right. It's not as if the XG is like 15, 16, 17 and teams are going to regress to the mean and it's going to go down. It's about level with what it should be. So favourites and goals a little bit against the trends, as Nigel was pointing out. A guy called A says 0-1 for me yesterday. Arsenal didn't cover the handicap. No, that late goal from Mark Gay sent it to penalties, of course. Villa fan says, with it being Christmas tomorrow, can I just take a moment to thank you all, particularly Nigel, for everyone's hard work this last year, including the laughs, the entertainment, and the winners. There you go, Nigel.
Well, I mean, thank you very much for that. But the winners definitely weren't my part. The laughs, not necessarily me. The hard work, maybe.
Yeah,
a lot of people, a little bit.
Yeah.
Steve Wiss has been working absolutely. This is the Steve Wiss show. We should be on here. So all the team have been amazing this year, and obviously we've got another few days to go. But obviously, I wish everyone a happy Christmas and thank you, Villa fan, for all your support, Adam. You're always tweeting our stuff. You're always messaging our stuff. You're always putting comments on YouTube. And that's the community we wanted to build. And, thankfully, for people like you, that's what we have done. So, the feeling's mutual as well.
FJ Football says Senegal will win it. Morocco-Senegal final. Yeah, Leslie saying bravo. And, Dr. Congo win, yes. Look, get your comments in regarding the games we're going to take a look at. First up, we are going to take a look at the Ivory Coast Mozambique clash for you, which kicks off 12:30 Eastern. So in about an hour and a quarter here. Ivory Coast have been bet. They're minus 400. I put some notes together this morning. They were minus 315. They're FIFA ranked 42 against a Mozambique side who are FIFA ranked 102. And Ivory Coast, Nigel, are just absolutely stacked with really good players. There's an awful lot of sort of good European-based players here. The likes of Sangari at Nottingham Forest, Diallo at Manchester United, Gesand, who's come into the squad. He was first reserve, but he's been taken from Aston Villa. Diamonde, who's scoring goals for Eintracht Frankfurt as well. You can see there he's plus 170 for anytime goal scorer. I can't see beyond an Ivory Coast win here against Mozambique, but I don't want to bet them at minus 400. What are we doing, Nigel?
I think you mentioned all those players. You never mentioned Grasso. I mean, Grasso's been in fantastic form recently for the Ivory Coast and good form for his club, Paris. He scored 7 goals in 20. I liked him anytime goal scorer at plus 155 ahead of Edinburgh. I think he's the rightful favourite. Surprisingly, he's not the favourite to score the first goal, but he's favourite to score any time. So that means that he's probably have a little bit more game minutes than Diamonde. For me, I think, you can't look past the Ivory Coast here. They're minus $4. The trouble is they've got a lot of expectation on it. They're defending champions, no touch since Egypt has defended its title since 2010, as I said. Mozambique, no, I've gone through some stats here. Mozambique have never got past the group stage in the AFCON, and their record, they've never won a match at the AFCON. 15 matches they played, 4 draws, 11 losses. No wins in their 3 warm-up matches, so they are really up against it here. And these odds are absolutely right at -$4. If you want to put them in a parlay, there's not really much to go with a parlay today. But if you want to put them in a parlay with something over the weekend or something for tomorrow, yes, you've got to put them in. I think that there's no doubt about it. Ivory Coast, to me, will win this match. But I think there's a lot of value in other markets as well. If you look at this matches, I just can't see Mozambique scoring. I think the win to nil here is the way to go. It's -143 with Bet Rivers. Ivory Coast are unbeaten in their last 7 matches. They've won 5 and they've won 2. All 5 of their last wins have win to nil. And they've only conceded 1 goal in that period of time. 5 of the last 6 Ivory Coast matches, they've scored early. They scored inside 10 minutes. So they come out fast. They hold on to what they've got. Defensive, they're strong. And I just can't see any way they're going to score here. None of the last 10 Ivory Coast internationals has seen both teams to score as a yes.
That's the stat.
So that's the reason. They come out fast, they get an early goal, and they sit back and they defend, and they're good enough to defend. And I can't see Mozambique threatening them whatsoever. They score 2 or more in their games as well. I can see this being a 2-0, 1-0 comfortable win. I just cannot see Mozambique scoring against his side. They're very, very strong defensively. You've rattled on all those players that they've got from an attacking point of view, but defensively as well, they're so strong as well. So I love this match as a win to nil. It's -143. There is a lot of rain around. Obviously, this match is in Marrakesh, and the tournament. If you've been following the tournament, most matches have been played in a deluge of rain. A lot of rain around throughout today, tomorrow. And all through all of next week as well. And Marrakesh is going to be hit by a bit of rain, which could bring in a bit of the unders, because I just think this is going to be a 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 3-0 kind of Ivory Coast win. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them get out of the traps early. I know Simon Holden put up a bet yesterday on the one of the matches. It was halftime, full time. But this one here could be a halftime, full time. It's -121. But I just rather, the way Ivory Coast get out early in their matches, I just think the win to nil offers better value here at -143. So it's no surprise that the win to nil for Ivory Coast is the first leg of my daily double. So -143, Ivory Coast to win to nil. I can't see Mozambique scoring against them. Their inability to score is proven in their recent matches. They're coming in here with no form whatsoever. Ivory Coast defending champions. That comes with a little bit of pressure, as we've seen in World Cups, European Championships, AFCONs as well. It takes them a little bit of time to get going, but they usually start fast, and once they get in front, they never get pegged back. So Ivory Coast here to win to nil at -143. I did like Grasso to score any time. 7 goals in 20 internationals for Ivory Coast. 17 goals this season in 31 matches in his career, in 31 matches for Paris FC. And I think that he's the most likely goal scorer for them. There's a lot of props there. He's +155 to score any time, but I just think we're going to play it safe and go for Ivory Coast to win to nil, -143. First leg of the daily double.
Brilliant. Look, both teams to score no is really short. It's about -220. But you think to yourself, if it's going to be both teams to score no, you may as well play Ivory Coast to nil. I cannot see Mozambique winning this one. You're actually right. Just 1 or 2 other players that you should have a look at. I mean, Sangare has been absolutely brilliant for Nottingham Forest. We talked about him on the Premier League show. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists. He's the outsider of the lot for a shot on target. He's something like +3. I did scribble it down. He's +370 to have 1 or more shots on target. So over 0.5. If Mozambique defend deep, and it looks like they play a back 5 looking to predictive lineups, have a look at him. There's an awful lot of players you can have a bit of fun with at big prices to have a shot on target. Sangare at +370 is one. Kessié, who was scoring goals for fun for Milan a few years ago at +130, is another. But I think they'll dominate, as Nigel says, and hopefully they'll get over line for a 2-0 cash. And the first leg of the daily double will come in. FJ Football says, I like that bet. FJ Football win 2-0, talking about Jan Philip, talking about Nigeria and Ivory Coast on the outrights. Yeah, Nigeria have got a very stacked squad in advanced areas. That is for sure. And Mindy Priya, a little bit of a diversion. Don't know if you want to answer this one, Nigel. Is it better to bet Hearts now on a match-by-match basis rather than taking the outrights?
Definitely take the outrights, because they're being rebased on the match-to-match basis. They're starting matches like -1 175 in matches they should have been minus 110 on. But on the outright market, there should be favourites, and they're not the favourites with the bookies. So definitely bet them on the outright market.
There you go, outrights. Mindy, if you want to follow Hearts and get on board that particular train. Let's talk about Cameroon, Gabon here. Cameroon a plus 110 for this one. Gabon a plus 290. They're in the same group as Ivory Coast and Mozambique. This is very much the group of death, because obviously you've got Cameroon and Ivory Coast and Gabon, who 1 or 2 are tipping to go deep into the tournament. They are the outsiders here. I quite like Gabon, Tino bet plus 138. Cameroon, with all the issues off pitch, David Pagu, who got the job because he's Samuel Eto'o's pal, even though Mark Brice was given the job by the sports ministry. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes at Cameroon. They didn't qualify for the World Cup. Yes, they've got some good players, but I'm not quite sure they're going to come out all good. I mean, they could win this game for sure. They are the favourites, and rightly so. But I think Gabon, who've got some really good players, I'm not quite sure if Aubameyang's going to play because he picked up an injury.
Apparently, he's not playing. He's out.
Yeah,
I was going to say that. I think that makes a little bit of a difference to your.
It does for sure. He's their talisman. He's their goal. I mean, Bouanga's got a great goal scoring record for LAFC this season. He's got like 20 odd goals. But Aubameyang is a miss for sure because they look to him. I just think this one might end up in a draw. Could be a high scoring draw. I mean, Cameroon can sing. Again, if you're looking for sort of, both teams to score, yes, at plus money, I don't mind that as well. What do you like in this one, though?
Well, I think the tie is 2-1 for a reason. It's very rare that you see tie. Every time I ever see a tie at 2-1 or under 2-1, my substantial size ears prick up. I think to myself, hang on, they've got to be. There's a reason for that, and I actually like betting ties when they're 2-1 or lower because that gives me a highlight indication of the market, and it's quite strange when you watch these sort of games where 2 teams need a tie and it's 1 plus 160. I like betting those kind of things. So I think the tie is interesting here. I think if you asked every professional gambler or anyone looking at the AFCON, which one of the leading nations you want to fade, it's Cameroon. And that is why they're plus 110 because of the turmoil's going on behind the scenes. If that wasn't going on, they come in with Vanana and a strong squad, they'd be minus 140 for this match, minus 150, and Gabon without their best player. You may look at this Cameroon price tomorrow and think that was the Christmas gift that got away. So, but I can't trust them with the turmoil. I think it's very hard to find out who's going to be motivated, which players are with the manager, which players aren't with the manager. So I've come at this angle with a prop. Cameroon have got a very, very good record in this competition. Their last 5 AFCON matches, they've won. They're unbeaten in the last 5, and they have been against a lot better opposition than this is a lot better teams than what they've got this version about. But I've gone for Mbuma. I've got a prop for Mbuma. I mean, Mbuma is their talisman. He's coming here. You talk about Salah. I would say that Mbuma's right up there now with one of the poster boys of African football, and I think his nation's hopes rest on his shoulders. And in these last 3 matches for Cameroon, he's been involved in 2 goals and 2 assists. So he's taken on that mantle. He likes the idea of being a leader here. In 5 of the last 7 Man United matches, he scored. So he's coming in great form. He is going to come here with a team that is struggling, a nation that's struggling. And I think he's going to take that on and try to do something here. So I've gone with him to have a shot on target. It's a low price. It's minus 195. But I think his record for Cameroon, in the last 4 matches for Cameroon, he's had at least 1 shot on target. He scored 2 and assisted in 2 of them as well. So he's obviously well capable of having a shot on target. I feel that he's got something to prove. And I just feel that this is a nation that needs a big-time player. He's a big-time player. It's going to be a big tournament for him. And I think he's going to do something tonight. I'm not necessarily saying that they're going to win it. I think the money line is tricky. I do believe that Cameroon could perhaps look a bit of value after the match, but I don't want to after time it. But I think at minus 195, I'm prepared to have Mbuma to have a shot on target here to boost up my daily double. And that makes my daily double plus 158. So I'm going to go for Mbuma to have a shot on target in that Cameroon match. I'm going to go for Ivory Coast to win to 0 against Mozambique. And that boosts that daily double up to a very, very attractive plus 158. So I'm hoping Mbeumo can replicate the form that he's shown for Manchester United. I remember he was the player of the month last month. He was been in great form for them, scoring goals, and his record for Cameroon has been exceptional in recent weeks. And I believe that he tonight will see this as a big opportunity to lift his nation in a bad time. And I think the nation needs a big win for him. And I think that's the way to go. So there's my daily double. That's it. Plus 158. And Boomer to have a shot on target. You could put him to have if you wanted to boost it up, you could go into him to have an anytime goal or anytime assist to get a bigger price. But I think we're going to have a good night tonight from Mbeumo, and I expect Ivory Coast to win 2-0. So that's my daily double. Plus 158. It might not pay for the whole Christmas, but it might get a nice bottle of wine for your Christmas dinner tomorrow.
One thing I like about the Mbeumo situation is that when he went Brentford United, it's like whenever you go from a sort of middle-ranking Premier League team to one of the big hitters, whatever you think about United at the minute, they're still, biggest club in the country and one of the biggest clubs in the world. And he is taking it in his stride. And Cameroon are missing two of their talisman from previous years. Anana's not made the squad. And Abubakar, who's got over 100 caps and over 40 goals, has been jettisoned from the squad as well. So the focus, as you rightly say, is going to be on him. But the fact that he stepped up for United would suggest to me that he's going to be able to take it in his stride. I still think Gabon are a bit of value, Tino, but I can see a sort of scoring draw for this one. Boanga, plus 290, anytime goal scorer would be my sort of prop. But it's an interesting one. I can't argue with Mbeumo because he is their main man without a shadow of a doubt. That is the daily double. That's Cameroon, Gabon. That's a 3 p.m.
Just Algeria gone 2-0 up now. If you're interested in playing with Bet Rivers, Algeria 2-0 up against Sudan, so there's no way back for them. Another favourite going to win there, Dan.
Another favourite's going to go in, and maybe another one potentially is going to go overs. I don't know how long left in that game, but it might be one that just. I mean, there's still 20 minutes left.
Yeah.
So it's another one that could go overs. We'll see if that transpires, but it's a very different tournament. Or it feels a very different tournament this time around. We've got a couple of games that we're going to talk about that take place on the 26th because they are early starts, and our live show will be ahead of these games getting underway. So we'll just have a quick look at a couple of them. The first we can take a look at here is Angola, Zimbabwe. Really like Angola on the money line here at minus 136. I thought they were a bit unlucky to lose their first game to South Africa. South Africa got a late winner through Lyle Foster in terms of the XG battle. Angola won that. So I think minus 136 is fair. And because Angola and Zimbabwe both lost their first games, I think this is another classic. Both teams to score. Yes, it's plus 118. Yeah. They're good. This is the game that they will target and think we need to win this if we've got any sort of chance of going through. And Mbala Nzola, who's plus 180 anytime goal scorer, he's got 3 for Pisa this season. We've talked about him on the European show on the odd occasion. He's not the worst striker to have on your betting roster, if you like, Angola. But I just think minus 136 on the money line is fair. Anything on this one, Nigel?
Well, the first thing that took my attention is the 3 first names of the Zimbabwe most likely to score: Prince, Washington, and Knowledge. What a fantastic front three!
Fantastic.
What a knowledge, yeah, what a lovely, what a Prince of knowledge, but brilliant. But I think you actually said there what I thought this game. When two teams have lost their first match in any major tournament, World Cups, European Cups, AFCONs, they have to go all out to win it. And I'm absolutely amazed that over 2.5 is plus 145, and both teams score. Yes, is plus 118. 5 of the last 7 Angola matches have seen both teams to score yes and over 2.5 goals cash. Both of these matches score. That exact scenario happened in their both matches. Both teams lost 2-1. It's a must-win match. Do you bet over 2.5 at plus 145? Do you bet both teams to score yes at plus 118? If you wanted to parlay the 2 and up, you're only going to get plus 180. So I think the best value is both teams to score yes, plus 118. That's where I'm going to go.
That is Angola against Zimbabwe. The other game, which is 9 a.m. Eastern on the 26th, is Egypt against South Africa. Egypt really should have beaten their match day 1 opponents. I've lost my notes. Zimbabwe by more than 2-1. Yeah. It was Salah in the 91st minute. I just look at some of the stats that I pulled up here. 35 shots, 8 big chances, expected goals of 2.93, yet they needed a Salah injury time goal to get over the line against Zimbabwe. But, you know, we've talked about Salah already on today's show. He's plus 200 anytime here.
Massive.
Just looks a bet. I mean, I just think Egypt will win this and win it easy. Minus 108 on the money line is good, but they do concede as well. All of their group games in the last African Cup of Nations were 2-2, all of them. So both teams to score yes at plus money. Egypt at almost even. Salah plus 200. I can't get away from any of those. I really like them to beat South Africa.
Mo Salah was starting off these kind of matches at plus $2 to score the first goal, let alone any time. And any time in these kind of matches, you're being minus 135. He's, 140. I mean, that just looks an absolute crazy price to me, plus $2, Mohamed Salah. This is the tournament he has to prove. This is the tournament that he wants to come back from Liverpool, if he comes back from Liverpool, or he's going to do a deal and move to Saudi. I mean, it's as simple as that. He has to showcase his talents. He has to come out and be the leader for his nation. $2, Mohamed Salah. You would not get that kind of price in the Premier League, a peak Mo Salah at all last season, perhaps maybe against Manchester City, but I don't even think he'd be $2 again. And he's $2 to beat a very poor South Africa side. If they played the game last time out against Zimbabwe, they would have won it 6-7-1 on the stats. And I think Salah at $2 is one of the best bets of the weekend.
That is one that we both like. Egypt should come good. I mean, I just think I think they'll be better as well. They're FIFA ranked 35. I mean, Marmoush scored as well. I mean, all of the quality for Egypt is up front. Their back four is all home base, so they're a little bit susceptible. That's why I sort of like both teams to score yes as well. But I just think Egypt money line, Salah anytime goal scorer, you're not going to go far wrong. He sees this as his tournament. He knows that if he can really, that's why I quite like Egypt at plus 650. You look at some of the names, and there's not a lot of European-based bar those forward players, but I just think he's going to try and make it his because he needs to. Both teams score yes, incidentally. 5 of the last 6 for Egypt. Plus 110, I think that's a bet. Right, that is the soccer done and dusted. Dave Clark saying Diamandi for Ivory Coast to score at plus 200. I like that as well. He's 19. He scored a hat-trick for Leipzig against Frankfurt the other weekend. He's got 6 in the Bundesliga. He looks a real talent. I think he was in Spanish football prior to coming to Leipzig. They look like they've got a really good striker on their hands there. So if you want to follow Dave's hint lean, then do so. Now, a reminder, if you have your eyes on a plus money bet at Bet Rivers, and we've put up enough for you over the course of the last half an hour, Betting Weekly is giving you a little piece of money to lock it in. Use our Pizza Money bonus code Betting Weekly 1218 to get a $10 bonus bet to use on any plus money bet at Bet Rivers. Betting Weekly 1218 is the code. You've got until January the 11th to redeem that code at any US Bet Rivers sportsbook. Good for one bet for eligible players only. Make sure you get that account open if you haven't already. That's the soccer done for today, and indeed the 26th. We will have a live show on the 26th. Is it Stephen Jack on Boxing Day?
I don't know. I've got no
idea. You do the
I think so. I know I need to go put my phone on and go through my emails. I think so.
I think it's Stephen Jack on Boxing Day, but obviously we've got the darts resuming the day after. Time for Nigel to give us his thoughts on, first of all, what the futures market looks like here. I've not really been across this, Nigel. You know, it's not necessarily my thing, but Luke Littler, should I be betting him at plus 150?
Well, you should have your absolute brains on Luke Littler at plus 150 because he was even money at the start of the tour and he's not plus 150. Really? So producer John has put the wrong price up. It should be, I think he's minus 150. And even at minus 150, he's a bet. There's no way Luke Littler is plus 150. He's definitely minus 150. So even at minus 150, Luke Littler is a bet because he's come through the rocky stages. He's come through the stage where he is vulnerable in the early matches. He averaged 97.15, 101.54, and he's in first gear. Once he gets to this stage, round 32, longer format, nobody can stop him. There has been some impressive performances, but his draw is easy. I mean, he's got Littler v. Cross, maybe his last 16. Quarterfinals are Gildian or Ratajski. Semi-finals, Johnny Clayton or Steve Bundy. He's a certainty to make the final. The bottom half of the draw is as absolutely stacked with talent. And Luke Littler, I just can't see him not getting to the final. I can't see him not winning it. I'm heavily involved in him at plus 110. I got involved in him at even money. I know it now
There we
minus
go.
150. I
Minus
still think
150.
I still think minus 150.
You're sticking his value.
I think it's probably a better bet now than he was at the start at even money. So minus 150, Luke Littler. I can't see him getting beat.
So bottom half of the draw, who might make it? Is there any value?
It's too hard to say. It's too hard to say. Humphreys could play Aspinall in the last 16. Van Veen has been the highest average scorer. Van Gerwen could play Anderson in the last 16, and Rock, a young kid from Ireland who's absolutely essential as well. So there's 6 potential finalists in the bottom half, and to me, there's only 1 potential finalist in the top half, Littler. And I can't see anyone. I can't see him dropping a set really en route to the final. I think he's that good. Minus 150 is an absolute knocking bet for me.
All right, stop me when you think there might be a hint of value. Players to contest the final. Littler Humphreys plus 200. Littler Van Veen plus 500.
I'd bet Van Veen at plus 500.
Plus 500.
Yeah.
Littler Rock at plus 650. Littler Van Gerwen plus 850. Littler.
Well, what Bet Rivers are saying there, if Rock played Van Gerwen in the quarterfinals, they would make Rock favourite. I'm not quite sure. I think if you made Van Gerwen an underdog against Rock, Rock's got all the talent but not the experience. If Van Gerwen was underdog, I think I'd have to bet Van Gerwen at plus money. Interesting.
But Van Veen for
he would be the one that I think will come through. I mean, he's an exceptional talent, massive scorer, but doubles go a little bit astray. And I don't think he can sustain that. And Rock's very similar style to him, but I think that Van Gerwen and Anderson have seen it and done it. But I think Van Veen would be the man I'll probably go for.
I'll tell you what, there's so many markets. And because there's a little bit of a break, you can take a look at what's available when it comes to the futures on the Bet Rivers app and the Bet Rivers website. An awful lot to go on with the darts. And we're going to get some next round picks from Nigel in just a second. Mike saying, talking about AFCON being a different tournament, maybe the weather issues are very mild compared to the heat and humidity of Ivory Coast last year. Nigel's talked about that already. You're absolutely right, Mike. Ming says, will there be a Premier League show before the next round?
It's being released tonight. It's being released after the show, about an hour after the show.
It'll be up for you. Leslie saying, Friday morning, Birmingham to score first. And also a parlay, MK Dons, Fleetwood and Notts County. I don't know who MK Dons play. I thought they had a tough game. I bet them to win the league, but every time they win a few, they seem to lose a few. Anyway, that will no doubt be covered on the 26th show.
They play Swindon.
Yeah, it's a tough game. Ollie's got them going, hasn't he, Swindon?
That'd be an over game, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
over
there you go. A little bit of a tip for you there, Leslie Matt, when it comes to League Two action. Right, to finish up with, Nigel's got some best bets or some leans when it comes to the darts on Saturday and Sunday. These are the games that you've picked out. Nigel, talk us through this lot.
Well, they're all the first one to win to 4. So it's the best of 9 sets now. So it's the best of 7 sets. Sorry, it's the first to win to get to 4. And Luke Letters minus 162 to win 4-0. That shows you how easy his task is. Mensur Suljovic. If you look at him, he averaged 97.15, 101.54, and was in total first gear. Mensur Suljovic got here with an average of 81.95 and 92.93. So Littler's averaging 20 points more than Mensur Suljovic every time he goes to the hockey, and his checkout stats are phenomenal. That's going to be 4-0. Couple of bets I like there. A bullseye checkout in the match at minus 150 with Bet Rivers. Littler always leaves a bullseye. He's phenomenal at bullseye. He always leaves the 170. 2 or more bullseye checkouts at plus 325, and a 170 in the match is 7-1. Littler's a showboater. He loves the 170. And if you watch him every single time, his brain works to leave a bullseye finish. So bullseye is minus 150 plus 325, 2 or more, or 7-1 or 170. The next match, Wesley's plays against Ratowski. 2 clash of styles. Pliers is a bit of a prolific hitter. Ratowski's a bit of a plodder. Both of them are bang average on they're both literally more or less the same on their tournament averages, averaging both around about 92. I think it's a genuine 50-50 call. Plazer was the guy who beat Gerwin Price 3-0 in the last round. And I think the edge probably Plazer at plus 120. Gilding against Woodhouse, minus 134 Gilding, plus 110 Woodhouse. Woodhouse is actually higher in the world rankings, 9 spots higher, but Gilding, he's a slow player. Woodhouse is quicker player. Gilding could grind him down here, and Gilding is higher on the average as well. Wouldn't really play there. But my best bet is on Sunday. I'm going to go for Ryan Searle to beat Martin Schneider. -125 Searle, +100 Schindler. Been very, very impressed with Ryan Searle. He's always been a player who's very, very good scorer, always a player on the floor that's been great on the stage. He's probably played his best darts in the last 2 matches. He's won both of them 3-0. Really, really impressed with what I've seen from him. I expect him to go deep. And I think he could upset a few. If he wins this match, he could be playing Bunting in the quarterfinals potentially, and then Johnny Clayton in the semi-finals. I think Ryan Searle could be a player that could go far in the tournament and probably run into Littler in the semi-finals. -125, Ryan Searle, my best bet of the 3rd round, and I think he'll win easy. But Littler, look for those specials that Bet River has. Bullseye, check out 2 or more bullseyes or 170 match at 7-1.
Good stuff. That's the darts that's coming up on Saturday and Sunday. That wraps it up for us for today. Just a reminder, Nigel, daily double is.
Yeah, I like this. I love the single, the Ivory Coast. I've had quite a decent bet on Ivory Coast to win to nil, but I've gone for the daily double with Mbuma. So Ivory Coast to win to nil against Mozambique starts in about 40 minutes time, is it? And
minutes, yeah.
Brian Mbuma over have a shot on target +158. Have a very happy Christmas for everybody. Really, really thoroughly thank you all your support throughout the year. Obviously, we've got lots more to come. Premier League show is dropping in about an hour's time. But thank you for everyone. Have a really happy Christmas. Hopefully, we can cash a nice little daily double there to go into Christmas morning and have some money for when the boys come back for Boxing Day.
And Mike says, Merry Christmas. See you on the other side. Ming says, yeah, Merry Christmas. As does Steve from Lynn. Happy holidays. He's going to follow the daily double today. Leslie Mack, great stuff. We say. Well done to everyone who's cashed some tickets recently with the daily doubles that have been flying. Also, the Advent calendar as well that has been cashing regularly. That's in profit over the course of December. But that wraps it up from myself and Nigel. Happy holidays. It will be Steve and Jack for the next live show. We got the Premier League show coming out a little bit later on. But from myself and Nigel, that is your lot. Have a good Christmas.